This is our first lesson in Unit 1. We are going to talk about the present simple tense. Usually, every sentence starts with a subject. The subject is either one of these two groups: I, we, they, you, or a plural noun. Or he, she, it, or a singular noun. Then comes the verb. And since we are talking about the present simple, the verb will have two forms according to the type of subject. The verb will be in its base form, per infinitive, if the subject is he, we, they, you, or a plural noun. Or the verb ends with s if the subject is he, she, it, or a singular noun. Let's have an example. I watch TV every day. Or he watches TV every day. Here comes the subject and it's followed by watch. Watch is a verb in its base form without any addition, and the sentence ends with an adverbs of frequency, which is every day. He, the subject, followed by watch, the verb, which ends with es. This refers to the present simple tense and the same adverb. Both of these sentences are in the affirmative form. So, what about the negative form? Negation. To negate any sentence, you need what? You need an auxiliary followed by not. In any tense, this is a general rule. This is what? General rule. You should always remember. Since we are talking about the present simple, let's have an example. Selwa likes movies. Selwa is what? Is the subject, and this is the verb, and it ends with s, so it's what? It's a present simple sentence, okay? If I want to negate this sentence, I will find this after the sentence. Negate. How can I negate it? I need an auxiliary followed by not. This is the subject. Selwa or she, no difference. What is the auxiliary that I should use if the subject is Selwa and the verb ends with es or s? I should use does, followed by not. Doesn't what? Doesn't like movies. Subject does not and the verb in its base form. We should omit the s because we use does. Another example. They play football in the backyard. You find the word negation. This is what's required from you. And as I know, this is the general rule. To negate any sentence, I need an auxiliary and not. This is the subject. And this is what? This is the verb. It's in its space form without any addition. So it's what? It's a present simple verb. Or a sentence in the present simple. Go back to look at what? To the subject. They. I should use what? They don't play football, and complete the sentence to the end. So, if the subject is I, we, they, you, or a plural noun, you should use don't in the negation. And if the subject is he, she, it, or a singular noun, you should use doesn't to negate a sentence in the present simple. Now, we will talk about questions. As you know, we have two types of questions. Either a yes-no question or a WH question. Let's start with a WH word. Let's talk about the present simple questions. To make a yes-no question, you need to follow the rule below. Your question should start with an auxiliary, followed by a subject pronoun, a verb in its space form, and a complement, and don't forget to put the question mark at the end. Let's apply this rule on an example. Ali drives his car fast. Yes, no question. This is what beside the sentence. This is the requirement. You are required to add a yes, no, or to make a yes, no question. How can I make that? I should follow the rule that I have mentioned previously. I need an auxiliary. The auxiliary, in this case, is determined according to the tense of the sentence. Ali, subject. Drives is the main verb. The verb ends with S. This means that I have a sentence in the present simple. So, since the verb ends with S and the subject is Ali, so I should use does. This is the auxiliary. Ali, does he drive his car fast? And put the question mark at the end and omit the S from the answer, the verb in its space form. Another example. They visit the local library every Friday. Question. This is what's wanted from you. I can read the sentence carefully and try to analyze it in its main elements. This is the subject and this is the main verb. It's what? It's pair infinitive without any addition. Complete the sentence. The local library every Friday. This is an adverb of frequency. So we have a pair infinitive form and an adverb of frequency. This is what? This is a present simple tense. Okay? Now I want a question. Okay. I have to use an auxiliary to make a yes-no question. Do. Because the verb is what? Is in its space form, and the subject is what? Is they. Do they? Do they? Because it's a subject pronoun by itself. Do they visit? And complete the sentence to the end, and don't forget to put a question mark. If you want to answer the question, you have to use a short answer. The short answer will be either affirmative or negative. Affirmative with yes and a subject pronoun followed by the auxiliary, or no plus a subject pronoun followed by the auxiliary plus not. Okay? How's that? For example, let's answer this question. Do they visit the library? Yes, they do. Does he drive his car fast? No, he doesn't. Okay? Now, I want you to know something about the WH questions. WH questions is a yes-no question. A yes-no question preceded by a WH word. How's that? Let's have an example, okay? My father likes his job. I want you to ask about the word job or his job. We should use the suitable question word according to the meaning of the sentence. So here you should use what and omit what we are supposed to ask about. My father likes. Now I should make a yes-no question following that rule. Okay? I need an auxiliary and a subject pronoun and a verb. How's that? By trying to know the tense of the sentence. This is the subject. And this is what? This is the verb. It's end with S. So it's what? It's a present simple. So what does? I am asking you. My father will be your father like. Okay? Let's have another example. They come to school by bus. Ask about the underlined words. By bus is how he comes. How they, comes. So I use the word, question word, how, and then go back to make a yes-no question from the rest of the sentence. This is the verb in its space form without any addition. So this means what? We are having a sentence in the present simple tense and the subject is they. So I use do. They is the subject pronoun. Do they come to school? This is a question word, WH word, and this is a yes/no question. I wish you got it. Okay? Now we will talk about the adverbs of time that we usually use with the present simple tense. They are very familiar to you. I think you use them always when you are talking to your friends about your daily routine. You have often, you have always, and you have usually. You have sometimes, never, ever, every day, and we have the use of once, twice, 3 times, plus anytime expression. For example, once a day, twice a year, 3 times a week, etc. Okay? Often, always, usually, never, ever are always comes in the sentence between the subject and the main verb. Like the example, I often wake up at 6 a.m. So this is often, and this is the subject, and this is the verb. And I can say, I always wake up at 6 a.m. I usually wake up. I sometimes wake up. I never wake up. I ever wake up. But these comes at the end of sentence. We say, I wake up every day at 6 o'clock, etc. I go to the market once a week. I visit my grandmother twice a year. He plays tennis with his friends every Friday, etc. Okay?